Yes people, what is going on? My name is Liam and this is Hollow Hustle. For any old subscribers to this channel, basically I used to use this for uploading Pokemon Go videos. Let's just get these completed and caught. Yeah, it's quite nice to be walking in the sun with palm trees in the background. So this content is going to be much different to what you used to see. When people think about starting a business, or even think about businesses in general, they think of actual shops, brick and mortar, lots of staff, big skyscraper style buildings, warehouses full of stock, inventory, or maybe even floating on the stock market. And whilst all of this is very important and also contributes to how successful a business can be, businesses can also start small and be just as successful. And this is exactly what I'm doing. So just to give you a little trip down memory lane, I have always loved Pokemon. Everything about it, the games, the cards, everything. I remember being in high school collecting cards, and to be honest, I wish I still had those cards now. I have no idea where that binder is, but if I had it, I would probably be a millionaire right now. I think I played every game on either the Game Boy or the Switch, every Pokemon game. And in terms of Pokemon Go, I've probably invested more time into that game than I'm willing to admit. It's a lot. Alongside Pokemon, one thing I've always been fond of doing is collecting trading cards. Whether it's been football, WWE, NBA, even Fortnite, I've collected them all. I've got the binders to prove it. And being honest, there's no better feeling than ripping open a pack, getting that one shiny you've been thinking about getting for ages. All of this combined is the main reason that I know starting a Pokemon business is the right move for me. Over the years, I've always had interest in business. I've been involved in various different types of businesses. I previously dabbled in my own clothing line that did quite well at the time. I've been self-employed, and I've also taken part in various other random side hustles really. But no matter what I've had going on, there's always been something missing. And even all the things I've tried, realistically I probably got into them for the wrong reasons, either just to make money, become a millionaire, or a get rich quick scheme kind of thing. But whilst looking back now, one of the consistencies about everything, so no matter what business it was, what I was doing, how much I was making, I always used the profits to buy some type of collectibles, trading cards, Funko Pop, whatever I was collecting at the time. There's always been something. I've got a storage container to prove it. So to plan ahead for this, I've considered a few various directions to go in for this business. The first one would just get a loan, buy or rent a building, use it as a shop, use the loan to buy lots of stock, and just start selling. And that may be the best option for some people, but for me it wasn't. It's not how I'm going to be approaching this. I have a full-time job at the moment anyway, so 37 hours a week between Monday and Friday, that's already gone. I'm tied up between that time. And when I'm not in work, I like nothing more than spending time with the family. I've got my girlfriend Adele, who's literally the nicest person in the world, and the children, who also collect Pokemon cards. So I'll definitely need to keep any stock locked away from them. Not to mention Lucian.
My cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power.
Our newest addition, he's only 1 year old. 1 year? 1 year's old? It doesn't sound right, does it? He's a 1 year old. So to say I have my hands full is probably an understatement. However, many people could probably see this as a reason to not start a new business. I see it as the opposite. I have people who I provide for, so the thought of setting up a profitable business over time just motivates me even more, makes me more hungry to succeed. As I mentioned already, I love Pokemon cards. I have always loved Pokemon cards, and I probably always will. I will still keep adding them to my personal collection. However, now I will also be looking for cards that I can potentially move on, sell to people, and that will probably increase in value over time. I'll be getting more cards graded, which, if you don't know, is basically where you send them away to a company. They come back in a hard slab, like this. Just had one lying around. They put a score up the top. This one's actually a 9 out of 10, which is mint, which is a very good grade. 10 is the highest. But also by grading cards, it does increase the value of them by quite a lot. So any good cards in good condition, I will be sending off for grading, either ones for myself or for the business, before we sell them. The current hype around Pokemon cards is growing every single day. There's literally new shops opening all the time. There's card shows everywhere, literally popping up in every city across the world, not even just in the UK, everywhere. And even shops like Smith's are having people queue up for new releases like 2 hours before the shops open. I went to the Newport store to try and get some prismatic packs the other day. They opened at 10 and people were queuing from 8. Didn't even go in. Just turned around and left. The Pokemon name is absolutely buzzing right now. So for me, this is the perfect timing. Before I even considered making a document series about this or documenting it in any way for YouTube, I did get a few things in place. Originally, I was just going to go with it and just do it, but I thought it is quite interesting. So if I can create some behind the scenes videos, show you some of my secrets and what happens along the way, it might make good viewing. So here we are, the YouTube series. One of the first things I did was buy a new binder. Voltex released some new colors. One of them is like lime green, it looks just like Shrek, so I needed it. So from this day forth, that has become the business binder. Everything that goes in there is not my personal collection. It's cards that I've had an interest in or I think will do well over time, and cards that I can potentially sell. I also wanted to find a name for this business, and after about 3 or 4 days of just thinking about everything, I did what everyone else seems to do when they hit a brick wall, and I asked ChatGPT. They did recommend a lot of good names, but something about Hollow Hustle just stood out. Maybe we have a ghost. Something about Hollow Hustle just stood out to me. So that was the name I went for in the end. So once we had the name, I used Photoshop, made a few logos where I could incorporate HH onto a Pokeball. And this is what I came up with. I'm quite happy with it. I like it. I made a few pictures, a few banner type pictures. And from there it was social media. So at the moment we have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, obviously, and a whatnot. There will be more added in the future, but that's all I needed for now just to get started and get a little fan base growing. One good thing I've made that I found super helpful is Google Sheets. It's basically like Excel, but you can log in on any device and see where you left off. So on there, I've got a tracker where I can put the cards in, how much I paid for them, how much I potentially could sell them for, the market value, and then once they're sold, how much they're sold for, so I can track profit or loss. I've also got a to-do list on there. It's basically good because if I'm out on my phone, I can open it up. If I'm in work on the computer, I can open it up. If I've got my laptop, I can open it, my iPad. You get the picture. Anywhere I am, I open it, so I can always track. If I'm out and about and someone wants to buy a card randomly, I can quickly open it up, see how much I paid for it, work out how much it's worth, and then go from there. Plus, I can also track how much I sell it for. So it is good, it is handy. If anybody would like a more in-depth video on what I use Google Sheets for, comment below, let me know, and I can do that in a future video for you. Now, as with any business, to get up and running and make some money, you need stock. As I said earlier, I have always collected cards. As I'm sure you know, collections take up space, lots and lots of space. So after a long, hard think, I decided to offload all of my non-Pokemon cards. All of them. Not only to raise funds, but also to free up some space. Give me some binders back, because I was running low. This wasn't an easy job, but after looking at everything I had, I then spent ages getting prices for it all. Literally using websites, eBay, sold, auctions, everything, just to get a value. And then after that fun task, I had an even more fun task of sitting there and listing everything one by one on eBay. It was painful. After 7 days of watching the bids and the watches for each item increase, I then had to say a couple of words to each of my items, knowing that I would never see them again. It was emotional. But they are all gone. They've been packaged up and sent off, and they are all hopefully now in their forever homes. As sad as that was, at least Hollow Hustle now has some money in the bank. So now we're all up to speed. We have set up the business, we have a name, we have a logo, we have social media, and we have some money to buy some stock. So I think it's time to draw episode 1 to an end. Please subscribe to join us on this journey. On episode 2, I will be buying stock, both from a local Pokemon store, actually in Cwmbran if you know Wales, and from a private seller who I found on Facebook Marketplace. Got some good deals from both, so I will be showing you all of those, how much they cost, what we got, and what we can potentially sell for. And I will also be showing you where I'm going to start selling cards, what platform I'm going to use, and how I'm going to go about doing it. So thank you for watching this. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. See ya.